800, 900 maximum, but now it's about 1,400. So in its own part, it's a good bargaining start for them. However, it's not about 1 million as an economy. It's about the value of 1 million. So if you have 1 million 1 year ago, does it do the same thing it will do now? That's the question. And if you ask me, 1 million of today Nigeria is small money. In fact, some households cannot even survive with that in a month. However, we should only drive at the value of the money, not the money itself. Like the newspaper everywhere was saying, we are heading to Venezuela, where you have a lot of money, but the money can only purchase something few. So the major thing we should look at now is the value of Naira. So how do we work on the value of Naira? I recall some years ago when you want to go to some of our neighboring countries, if you want to buy a car, you have to go with a big bag of money. But nowadays, it's turning around to Nigeria, and that the money does not have the expected value. So for me, it's not about 1 million, it's about the value of 1 million. However, it is also over ambitious on the part of NLC to say we want to get 1 million. Because that today, we all know that federal government cannot be at that level. If I thought they call it a leading wage, I'm not sure they can even get quarter of that.
Now, when we say that the federal government cannot even get quarter of that, Dr. Elia, the federal government is wasting a lot of money in the budgetary allocation that Serap is asking them to defend why they're getting 344 billion naira as allocation. They have 2 billion naira that has been set aside for car park. 2 billion naira for where vehicles are going to be parked. If you took 2 billion naira and invested it into even labor in Nigeria, give loans, give schemes for SMEs to grow, it will mean something. Now, I think some of the things that would make the likes of Joe Ajero think this way is, if you can afford to spend these kinds of monies on these frivolities, then you should be able to take some from that chunk and invest it into labor. So let's look at budgetary allocation for some things that we know is wasteful, versus saying that the federal government cannot afford to pay even 200,000 naira as minimum wage.
Right. I think the onus is on all Nigerians to always hold our leaders accountable. It's quite a sad one that they will be budgeting such a huge amount for a car park. My issue is not even the budgetary, but the budgetary process. Why that budgetary did not come from the National Assembly Commission? Why is it that when they now presented the budget to them, they now remember to fix it? That's the question I even have for that budgetary allocation. However, until Nigerians start to hold these leaders accountable, they will not stop allocating what will benefit for them. I can even give you a good example of this democracy that we have especially this Tinubu regime. You will look at it that the federal government is benefiting more alongside the state government, whereby they now have more allocation for the state that does not translate to well-being of Nigeria. The household is now suffering the more. So the federal government is feeding part through maybe oil revenue, oil subsidy removal, naira floating, and other policies, and even some fiscal policy. They're getting more money, but the household is getting worse off. And like I said in last, any policy that make people that are worse off much more, like 90% are worse off and 10% are better. It's a bad policy. So for me, I think government needs to go and rethink. Perhaps we even want some reversal of those policies because it is not benefiting Nigeria. Nigeria is being is diving the more into more poverty. So and these are leaders, and I'm sure they also go outside Nigeria. Let me give a good example of a country like Rwanda. Rwanda have 13 million people, but they have people in strata. They conditionalize people where they have the poor, the very poor first, the poor, the middle class, and the rich. And the very poor in Rwanda benefit from cow, free education. The poor itself also pay half of their education. There's a way they balance it. But in this country, we just take everything together. There's nothing the poor man is actually benefiting. And I must tell you, the only thing the poor man benefits is said to be the fuel subsidy. Then it has been totally removed. So the issue is just a multiple problem at a time. So I don't know the miracle that they want to do, and I hope Nigeria can bear the move because it's not easy at all. I was listening to CDN governor and he was trying to also celebrate and appreciate their level of achievement. And I beg to differ that no, you don't say that because government get more revenue. Look at the household. In fact, let's look at HDI index, Human Development Index. It looks at the level at which people, can access health, level at which people come with per capita income. What is per capita income of a Nigerian? It's very, very, just look at our GDP divided by, our population. You see that Nigeria has also to, in fact, to a very poor and bad level. So, and if you also look at life expectancy in Nigeria,